Hello and welcome to this week's Top 10 Minor Region Power Rankings, where we're going to cover the top 10 minor region teams throughout the season on a weekly basis. Keep in mind, this is 100% stats based, so if you are a fan of a minor region, then, comment down below with how the teams look. Stats only tell one part of the story, it doesn't tell the rest. So keep that in mind when we're going over this. How I compare them is based off of how a team is doing domestically, and then taking that and comparing it to how a region has performed internationally in the last year. So, perfect example, LCO, Oceania, their top team is Chief Esports. They're ranked 20th in the minor region power rankings. You may say, how the hell is that possible? Well, Chief didn't win. The LCO didn't win a single game internationally last year, so they got hurt by it. The stats say that they couldn't compete with PCS second seed, CBLOL, LJL, and I think they also had in that group they had Fnatic and EG. So those two teams were better than them probably, but nevertheless, that's why they're 20th, the top LCO team right now. Plus, nobody is overly killing the LCO right now. So 10th place we have Fluxo from CBLOL. They are 1-3. Decimus is 12-3-8 last week in the jungle. Did a fabulous job despite going, I believe, 1-1 or 0-2. The team has graded out well thus far stats wise. They're just kind of working their way through the split, having some tough matchups. There are one, two, three. There are three other CBLOL teams on here, and I think Fluxo has played two of them. So that's going to happen, right? They're doing fine. It's just they're having a tough time against the top teams, and everything will kind of shake itself out as the split goes along. 9th place is Kaboom Esports, another CBLOL team. They are 2-2. Lonely in top lane went 10-6-14. The Korean import did well in both games despite going 1-1 on the week. Kaboom was on here last week. I think Fluxo was also. So they have started the split off strong, having the advantage of having extra sets of games to go over. 8th place is Lol Esports in Latin America. They are second in their region at 4-0. Hans Samdi, yes, it's Samdi. He changed his name to Hans Samdi. If you missed last week's video, we went over it. He was mentioned in that one too. Went 10-0-9 between the two games. I don't think he's died yet in LLA. So he is dominating the minor regions, leaving the LCK and just completely crapping on Mexico right now and South America. Central America, Caribbean. He's just doing it all. Just dominating. 7th, the top Latin American team is Rainbow 7. 4-0. Bong went 13-1-15. I mentioned before the split started, Bong was a player to watch. He was very, very good in Turkey last year with Nasser Esports. And honestly, with his limited stats I see on Games of Legends, I think he's a player that we look at a Rascal, Duck Dom, Fate. Those three players really stick out to me, and they're all in DRX. Ironically, we've went over this before, but if you missed it, all started in minor regions and ended up going to the LCK after. And I think Bong is going to be one of those players, a very, very talented top laner. Los Grandes from CBLOL in 6th place are 3-1. Natuno went 14-3-12. In the AD carry position. I believe he played Lucian at least one of the two games. Natuno shows up multiple times a year on here when his team does. Last year, I forget who he played for, but we referenced him several times. 5th place from Japan is V3 Esports. They would lose their only series this week. However, statistically, they graded out well. They threw their games. And if you throw your games, stats-wise, you're going to look good because for the majority of the game, you were in a good spot. I think it's easier to clean up throwing games than it is to get a lead in the first place. So, they're 5th, dress code 10-8-11. 4th place is Red Canids from CBLOL. They are the top-rated Brazilian team at 4-0. Curry went 3-0-25, the Korean support. Dominating in his role, really helping Cheeton, who had another solid week. I just didn't want to have him back-to-back. As Red Canids are looking like that MSI favorite once again, They had one, I mean, CBLOL had a great year last year. I think it was their best performances in back-to-back international events in a long time. I know people reference like Pain Gaming from forever ago, but really think about how Red and Loud did last year. Now that Brazil has franchising and more money, CBLOL are starting to really rise up the charts. The top 3 teams are all from Japan. Japan is ranked higher than Brazil, Oceania, and Latin America on my hierarchy based on the fact that Japan did better at Worlds, right? So that's a thing. Burning Core are 0-1, similar to the V3 Esports thing. They looked good in their losses, overly good, and just kind of threw. Dice 15-7-13 in the mid lane position, a Korean import as well. Many of these players Korean imports. SoftBank Hawks Gaming are second in the LJL at 1-0. Kanatu in the support position went 3-1-10. Did very well, or maybe they were in the top lane. Shucks, I don't recall. I didn't know of this person before this video, so I'm being frank and honest. I mean, I don't watch minor regions, like I said, except like right before an international event, I'll look at like the playoff run of a team just to get an idea of the players. But Kanatu was the best player on what I think it's SHG, which makes sense. Really working SoftBank into there. And then first place is Sengoku Gaming, who beat Detonation Focus Me 2-0. I do expect DFM to end up on this list before long. DFM have dominated Japan for a long time, and I really doubt EV leaving is going to take everything away from them. But the fact is, there's only been one series to go over, and they didn't look good in it. So, SG1, 1-0. Loken in the 80 carry position, 15-1-10. Korean imports kicked around with LCK and LPL. Did not play at all last year. A lot of people in the player pool picked Loken due to the VCS's murky waters. We don't know if and when Vietnam is going to play, which is very unfortunate because a lot of people had Shogun. I had Shogun. I think Shogun is the best minor region player out there. So it's definitely a shame. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to play somewhere, especially because there was heavy investment into that team by a Korean company. But the other teams don't have the money, so I guess they're not going to do it. I don't know. Nevertheless, Sengoku Gaming is first. And that's it for the top 10 minor region teams. Remember, if you're a fan in Brazil, Latin America, Japan, or Oceania, comment down below with how you think your team's looking, how you think these teams look. And, yeah, so like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a YouTube member, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.